All right, sports fans, how's everybody out there doing? William Martin coming at you one more time here on YouTube with another edition of the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge Podcast. Week by week, we are slicing this thing down. We've gone to 32 teams that had a shot, realistically, at the beginning of the NFL season. It was down to 14 as the time that the postseason rolled around. And after one weekend, it is now down to 8. And after Sunday evening, it's going to be down to 4. We are at the divisional round of these NFL playoffs. There's just 8 teams left that still have a shot to claim that coveted Vince Lombardi trophy. And of course, after the divisional round, it is on to conference championship weekend. We've got two good games on tap for tomorrow, as well as two more come Sunday. And in most of these games, the elements are going to play a factor. But let's see who has what it takes to win here in divisional weekend and get on to conference championship Sunday. Now, I want to start off with the first game of this round. Is you got the all the champions of the divisions in the AFC are still standing. So you got the 4 seed, the AFC South champions in the Houston Texans traveling to take on the Kansas City Chiefs. And of course, for the Chiefs, they are looking to become the first team in the Super Bowl era to make it 3 straight championships. For the Texans, of course, they met the Chiefs a couple of weeks ago. They were game, but the bottom line is they simply could not get over that hump against the champs. Now they've got to go back to Arrowhead and try to do it again. I'll tell you like this: we saw the Texans start very slow against a good Chargers team last week. Offensively, their defense kept them in the game, and they were able to get it going. I'll tell you like this: Houston's offense cannot afford to start slow in this one because when you think about what it takes to beat the Chiefs, you've got to bring your A-plus game. You got to be clicking on all cylinders, especially on offense. The Chiefs simply defensively do not give up touchdowns in the red zone. So when you get the ball, you got to score, and you got to score touchdowns to put that pressure on them. So I'm putting the onus in this one on the Texans' young quarterback, CJ Stroud. Joe Mixon is questionable with an ankle injury. I think he'll be ready to go for this game. Let's just see how effective that he's going to be. On the flip side, for the Chiefs, okay, it's business as usual for the champs. They always don't play their best game, but they know how to close. Okay. And the biggest question for me with the Chiefs in this one is it going to be rest versus rust? Because the last time that the Chiefs' first stringers played legitimate, real live action, we're talking about Christmas Day in their victory over the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're talking about nearly a month ago. Okay. It's going to be 25 degrees at game time. And of course, as the darkness ascends on Arrowhead, it's going to get colder. Very interesting here. The Texans have never played in an AFC championship game in their history. That's number one. The Texans have never won a road playoff game in their history as well. A lot of people are picking the Texans in an upset here due to the fact that KC is favored by 8 at home. I'm not one of those people. I'm going to take the Chiefs to get things done and get back to the AFC Championship game. And I'm going to take Kansas City by the score of 27-20. Now, tomorrow night in Motown, you've got the Detroit Lions, champions of the NFC North, hosting the Washington Commanders. And of course, for the Commanders, it was a thrilling, exciting game last Sunday night, a back and forth affair with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And of course, in the process, Washington won their first playoff game in about 20 years. And of course, the Commanders have not made it past the second round of the postseason since their last Super Bowl championship, which was all the way back in 1991. You look at this Commanders team, do not write them off. First and foremost, they went 12-5. They are a legit team. Jayden Daniels has people believing about this squad. And it's not just Jayden Daniels. Terry McLaurin has been one of the best wide receivers in the NFL for the past several years. It's just the fact that he did not have good quarterback play as far as getting the football to him. That has changed now with the addition of Jayden Daniels. You have this defense with a very veteran presence in the middle at middle linebacker in the form of Bobby Wagner. But I'll tell you like this game's going to be coming down to the offenses. You got a Lions team that has been rolling. You got to go back to week 13 to find the last time that Detroit did not score at least 30 points in a game. And now you've given them a week to rest at home with the crowd. And it's going to be very spirited tomorrow night at Ford Field. The Lions come into this game favored by 9.5 points at home. I think it's going to be a lot closer than that. I'm still going to take Detroit to win, but I'm going to say Detroit 37, Washington 31. Now, moving on to Sunday in Philadelphia, you've got the Eagles hosting the Rams. And of course, the upset minded Rams, a lot of people feel like, you know what, the Rams are a force to be reckoned with. This young defense, they get after you. We saw that against the Minnesota Vikings this past Monday night. And then you've got a veteran quarterback in Matt Stafford and a young veteran coach in Sean McVay that have won a Super Bowl championship together. Now, a couple of weeks ago, we saw the Eagles go out there to Inglewood, and the bottom line is this same Rams defense that people are talking about, they never had an answer for Eagles running back Saquon Barkley. You look at the Eagles' record this season, plain and simple. When Saquon gets at least 100 yards on the ground, they win. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Okay, they have not lost a game this season when he does not. When he does get, pardon me, I take that back. They've only lost one game this season when he got at least 100 yards on the ground. It was the loss to the Washington Commanders when Jalen Hurts went out with the injury. People want to say, well, the Eagles didn't look that good last week against Green Bay. That's because the Green Bay Packers are a good team, and the Packers still gave it everything that they had, in spite of the fact of all the injuries that they were dealing with. The bottom line is, it's not about pretty wins this time of the year. It's all about surviving and advancing and doing the things that got you to this point. The bottom line is the Eagles have to run the football. The Rams know that they must stop Saquon Barkley. But I'll tell you like this, I expect this Rams defense to be all in as far as attempting to slow down and stop Saquon Barkley. Kellen Moore and this offense have to take advantage of that and go play action with AJ Brown and Devonta Smith as much as possible if the Rams are going to commit that much to try to slow down Saquon. The Rams have been game. They're going to put up a fight in this one. I know Philly is a favorite by 6.5 points at home. I'm going to take the under in that, but I'm going to take the Eagles to beat the Rams by the score of 24-23. And finally, let's see who's going to survive the wicked cold of Western New York come Sunday night, as you've got the Ravens coming into town to take on the Buffalo Bills. And it's scheduled to be 18 degrees at game time, which means which one of these teams is going to be able to run the football. We know about the running quarterbacks, Josh Allen for Buffalo, and of course Lamar Jackson for the Ravens. But Lamar Jackson's got a tag team partner right now in the form of Derrick Henry. And earlier this season, when we saw these Ravens host these Bills on Monday night or Sunday night football, rather, this Bills defense never had an answer for King Kong Henry. You look at two quarterbacks, both are in that conversation to be MVPs. Okay, and I don't think that this game should determine that, but nonetheless, it is definitely going to have some bearing. For Josh Allen, he has not gotten past the second round of the playoffs since 2020. For Lamar Jackson, he has never won more than one playoff game in any trip to the postseason. Something's got to give. I think it gives on Sunday night. I think Derrick Henry is a difference. Zay Flowers is expected to return from injury for the Ravens. And even if you have him in small packages, I think it will definitely be a factor for Baltimore. So I'm going to take the Ravens to get back to the AFC Championship game by the score of 27-23. So, folks, those are my picks for this weekend, the divisional round in the NFL playoffs. And as always, I want to take this time out to thank each and every one of you for tuning into the 300 Pounds of Sports Knowledge podcast. here on YouTube. I want to take this time out to thank all of you fine folks out there for tuning in. And if you have not already, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. Now, if you're on the X, formerly known as Twitter, please feel free to follow me at 300 pounds of sports. And like I always say, if you follow me, it will be my pleasure to follow you right back. There's also the sports discussion group on Facebook at the Sports Depot 365. Now you can check it out. Drop a line and be a part of one of the better sports debating sites going on social media. So, once again, fine folks, my name is William Martin, and I am signing off. And I'm saying take care and have yourselves a wonderful day.